We got the Vikings and the Lions. Note to the Lions, they're doing some real good things lately. They fired Matt Millen. They actually just today traded Roy Williams for a bundle of draft picks, and I'll get more into that later, but they're doing some good things lately. They gotta step it up now. Put Drew Stanton in. You know, I don't know about Orflorski. I know he's young. He does some stupid stuff. He's probably not downright awful. We don't really know yet. But Drew Stanton should be the future of the Detroit Lions, and I want to see him in this year. The sooner the better. So, Detroit, they say things come in threes. You got rid of Millen. You traded Williams for a bunch of picks. Make it 3. Put in Drew Stanton. I want to see Stanton. We might as well figure out where he is before this season ends. This game itself was pretty dull. There was the big play to Bernard Berry, and Adrian Peterson came on and had a pretty good game for himself. By the end, he managed to pile things on near the end. The safety by Orflorski was sufficiently hilarious. Definitely one of the funniest things to happen this week. If you haven't seen it yet, see it, because he was still trying to throw the ball. What else is there? Kitna's on IR. Probably good for the Lions to move in another direction, but I think Kitna's a good guy, so I think that's a shame. Megatron. Another good game. I'm looking for him to have a 1,000-yard season this year. Become the receiver we know he can be. Props to the Lions. They got good pressure. They forced some turnovers. I think they had like 4 or 5 sacks, forced like 4 fumbles, got a turnover. They played their guts out, and I gotta say they got screwed over. I'm sorry. That pass interference call on Bowden was crap. That was just crap. I mean, neither of these teams I really felt deserved to win, but come on, that was bad. Vikings, it was, Kevin Williams, 4 sacks yesterday. He's got I think 6 on the season. He's having a good season. On the strength of this game mainly, but keep an eye on Kevin Williams. He could end up setting some defensive tackle records. And that's really all I gotta say on the Vikings, because there wasn't too much to talk about. But they're right back in the divisional mix. Bears, Falcons. Watch this game. My first look at the Falcons this year. Wow, This was Matt Ryan's first wow game, so I really don't think that I was missing this sort of thing week in, week out for the first 5 weeks of the season. But Matt Ryan, he came to play today, and I imagine this game is going to get on NFL replay. I might catch it again if I get the chance. Probably not. But he went lights out. He was definitely one of the best quarterbacks this week. So he was running the no huddle. He was converting 3rd and longs, which is one of the hardest things to do as a quarterback, to convert that 3rd and long. Chicago was stacked up to stop Michael Turner, and he made them pay for it, finding Roddy White and Michael Jenkins. Even guys like Laurent Robinson and Bobby Douglas. He was finding whoever. He was really just getting it done, not taking sacks, not turning it over. It was really a spirited performance. He could have a rookie season if he can figure out how to play a little better on the road more consistently, and maybe he already did, because he played well against Green Bay. He could have a rookie season that rivals Ben Roethlisberger's, or I think Dan Marino, or any other great rookie quarterback you can think of. Turner didn't play well in this game, by the way, and Roddy White was questionable coming into this game. So this is all Ryan. And I gotta say, I'm rooting for the kid. I'm rooting for Atlanta, because I'm not a Falcons fan, but I have to feel for the fans of that region after the Vic incident. Because being a bad team is one thing. Atlanta was a bad team last year. That's one thing. That's part of the NFL. But to have your superstar player like Vic go out like that, that can have a bad effect on a franchise and their fans. So I'm rooting for them. Chicago. If they could close out games, they'd be 6-0 right now, and I think that says a lot about them. Most games in the NFL are close. How good your team is defined by how they perform in close games for the most part. Very rarely is this not true. So, you know, sometimes when a team loses close games, when they have late leads and let it slip away, you're inclined to say that was a bit of a fluke, but it's happened 3 times now, so I don't know exactly what it is. The defense just seems to fall apart a little bit at the end. You know, the decision to squib kick it and the defense they played on that final play was bad. I know they were handcuffed to it, but that was pretty bad on their part. And, you know, I gotta say, Chicago's offense, I thought Kyle Orton was due for a stink bomb, but the Bears would win anyway. Kyle Orton, he's had 3 pretty good games in a row now, so maybe it's time to take him for real. We'll keep an eye on him as time goes by, because right now Matt Forte is not getting it done on the ground, so it's his show, and he's playing well right now. You gotta say at least that. Saints, Raiders, big blowout. I actually saw part of this game. Russell looks completely uncomfortable back there, like he shouldn't even be quarterback. That's not a fat joke. I'm not saying he should play defensive tackle, but he doesn't look comfortable back there. He doesn't look like a quarterback right now. That's not me making a joke. That's just what I see. He just looks completely out of sorts. I mean, it doesn't help that it looks like Javon Walker should just go retire. I think I heard something about him maybe getting deactivated or getting cut or something like that. So, just nothing going right for the Oakland offense. They made Jason David look like a Pro Bowler. For those of you who don't know Jason David, just think Jacques Reeves. You guys should know who Jacques Reeves is. Saints. It looked like another one of those games to start. One of those games where they look real good but still find a way to lose. They only had 10 points going into the half, but they figured it out in the second. They're figuring out how to use Reggie Bush. They're using all the different offensive weapons they have, and they're getting the ball in the end zone. That's why they lost against Minnesota, and that's why they lost against Washington, kind of. They move up and down the field, but don't get it in the end zone. Today, they got in the end zone. They were putting up points. They got it done. And keep an eye on Drew Brees, because he's having a historically good season. Not just good, historically good. Bengals, Jets. Bad Brett Favre came out for a little bit there, but in spite of that, he's completing a lot of passes right now. It's over 70%. He's completing over 70% of his passes. That's got to be meaningful somehow. Thomas Jones, I finally decided to bench him in fantasy because I was getting frustrated with his production, and he goes and has 3 touchdowns. He didn't even produce that much. He just got in the end zone. So, well, I should have started him. He was playing the Bengals. I still won. You know, this game was kind of a foregone conclusion when we knew that Ryan Fitzpatrick was going to start. They still kept it interesting because of the defensive touchdown to start the game, and Favre had a couple of interceptions, and the Jets offense never really got completely going, but I don't know what they're going to do at running back, because Chris Perry and Cedric Benson can't get much worse than that right now. Go look up Chris Perry's stat line right now. Look at the fumbles, look at the yards. You'll shake your head. I'm sure you will. Chad Johnson. Or do we have another Carl Pickens on our hands with Chad Johnson? I know he's got the shoulder injury that he's playing through, but even so, could this guy just completely drop off the fantasy radar and turn into a mediocre receiver that maybe even falls out of the league like Carl Pickens? He's been good for so long, I can't even imagine that. But it could happen. Jeez, what else? Really isn't a ton else I gotta say here. I want to rep the Jets defense real quick because they got like 4 or 5 sacks, and I really like the way they're playing right now. David Harris, Calvin Pace, no help from Vernon Golston, but no problem, they're getting it done. Okay, moving on.